Ever since the day that you went away, you went away.
Hi everyone, my name is Andra and I make mostly commentary videos. I wasn't going to talk about this because first of all, I'm not from America, second of all, I'm not a person of color. So while I am a minority, I cannot understand what they're going through. So I don't think I am qualified to make a video about this, but obviously as a person who is always willing to fight for justice and fight for human rights of other categories of people, I do feel like it is my duty to point out that there have been people who have been handling this horribly wrong, and even though I am not an expert in this field, obviously there are very clear delimitations of right and wrong in a situation like this. And although there are a lot of people who fall maybe in the middle, in the gray area, there are a lot of people who are simply wrong and racist and intolerant, and we do have a duty, even as white people, especially as white people, to call them out because we share their privilege. So today's video is going to be about Dollskill. It's also going to be about an influencer who was previously Miss Universe, who has been spewing some very racist shit on her Instagram page. So this video is gonna be a two-parter, like I said before, and I will be putting timestamps in my description or in my top comments. And if you want to only look at one of these two stories, that's fine. I'm gonna be leaving timestamp for you to make it easier. So first of all, we're gonna be talking about Dollskill. Dollskill have a history of being extremely problematic, from glamorizing mental health to stealing designs. If anyone is interested, I can make a deep dive video into Dollskill and explain all of this, but this is not what today's video is about. Today's video is about how Dollskill owner has been congratulating police for defending their store. As seen in this post, Dollskill owner is saying direct action in its glory, hashtag Black Lives Matter, as police are defending their warehouse or store. And obviously police has been getting pretty violent in this riots and protests and whatever you want to call them, and defending such a thing is just incomprehensible for me. Like, obviously you care about your own stock and your own items, but not at the expense of people. You are a big corporation, you are insured. The money that you might lose from looting is not actually going to be any lost money. As I said, you have insurance for that, so you're going to get most of it back. If you're a small business, I would kind of understand, even though obviously condoning violence, even as a small business, is disgusting. But I would understand, because a lot of small businesses can go out of business from this if they are not insured. But if you are a big corporation like this doesn't affect you at all. And for someone who has been stealing designs, a lot of them from people of color, and a lot of them with insensitive designs like Native American costumes and stuff like that, like, why would you be like this now if you're profiting off of these minorities? So how do they try to fix this? With the most bullshit apology I've ever seen. After this, they pretty much apologize for being silent, even though their owner on the personal page has been saying shit like that. They just gloss over that and pretend that the issue of the people has only been about them being silent. So I'm gonna read you the apology, and I'm gonna read you some of the feedback that they've received, or backlash if you wanna call it, because it's deserved. We fucked up, we should have been quicker and louder. You are right to be upset with us. We were slow to show our support of Black Lives Matter, and we should have done more. Dollskill is a company, but first and foremost a collective of misfits who work to make this brand what it is, and we need to make some things clear. We at Dollskill condemn racism, police brutality, violence, bigotry and hate. In the past, we haven't been outspoken on issues. When customers have spoken out, we've responded by fixing it from the inside. Cutting ties with vendors, pulling items from the site and being more inclusive. We've never spoken publicly because as a fashion brand, it never felt like our place, but we've learned that silence is complicit, it's not excusable, we hear you and we will change. We will do whatever we can as a brand to hold ourselves accountable. Dollskill is committing $1 million to purchase products from black-owned fashion brands and designers to feature on our sites. Please suggest your favorite brands in our comments section. We'll donate a portion of the proceeds to Black Lives Matter. So my issue with this is that you are using $1 million to purchase products from black-owned fashion brands and then selling them. So you are gonna make more profit on that. So it's not really a charity if you make the money back and you make even more money back as profit. How is that charitable? We should already buy stuff from a diverse range of designers depending on their talent and the quality of their items, not necessarily their race, but obviously that talent can be found in any race. So if you are saying now you want to buy from black brands, does that mean that you didn't do it before? Why didn't you do it before? I thought it matters to be talented, not just to be white or whatever. Like, I don't get that. So yeah, the comments have been pretty negative. I've seen a few positive ones here and there, but mostly the top comments have been calling them out for ignoring the main issue and just apologizing for something else entirely to try to kind of divert the attention of the people who were maybe not aware of what happened with the owner. So there were comments such as, "You are only apologizing because you were exposed. You only care because we called you out. So your owner is okaying police to shoot others in front of your store is okay. Rep you guys like a fucking mascot and you all merchandise is more important than my life, fuck your apology. Why does your CEO care more about her store than black lives? Everyone deserves respect, not you though. This store is going places, I hope it's into bankruptcy. You steal designs from independent black artists, black lives don't matter to you, you directly take from their livelihood." That's so sweet. So how much are you all donating? How are you gonna help bring justice? Because free black squares on your Instagram page is just not enough, babe. Oh yeah, they did the free squares to keep their team on the Instagram. So funny when they do that. Go back to stealing designs, please stop trying to act like you fucking care. You all promote punk shit, but you back the cops, make it make sense. I hope your factory gets looted. Honestly, they would deserve that for their disrespect to people. Now you're coming and pretending like they care. At least they should have just stayed silent. Someone said, "You snapped, make it your neck next time." I love this kind of comments. Yeah, so these are a few of the comments that they have received. A lot of them are negative, which I think they deserve. I have heard a lot of stuff about Dollskill promoting rape and stuff like necrophilia, and just horrible to hear about that, having been, I am a rape survivor myself, and that kind of stuff is something that I want to keep on talking about on my channel because I want to shed light, because 1 out of 4 women are going through this shit, and I don't know the percentages for men. Obviously men are going through this as well, and it is very important for me to bring it up with any chance I get. For me, if you talk about rape in a positive light or make jokes about it, you are the lowest of the low. There's not that much to say about Dollskill thing other than this. Like, I want to make a deep dive and just mention everything that they've done, but that's gonna take some time and some research, so I might do that eventually, but not in this video. So we're gonna move on to part 2. So I've been just filming part 2 of this video and I saw her apology, like the owner's apology. I don't think that this is appropriate. I think it's too little too late. She should have talked about it before. Her video that she presented, her apology just seemed very wooden and disingenuous, like she was reading from a screen, and I don't think it's okay to script apologies, as in bullet points, but it's not okay to read from a piece of paper or a screen and just show zero emotion. I don't know if I've seen remorse. They said that they're gonna address these things further that people have been complaining about, such as the glamorizing rape, the racist comments such as goth is for the white people or something like that. I'm just gonna leave everything on the screen. I'm not prepared to make an update on this because I haven't actually looked into it that deeply, but I'm more and more considering to make a full video about Dollskill. So I'm just gonna wait and see what they do with this information, with the critique that people have been giving them, with the cancellation, let's say. And if they do anything worthwhile, I'm just gonna make a video with all the problems that they've encountered and how they handle them, if they handle them appropriately or not. So that video is gonna come in the future, I've decided. But as I was filming my second part of this, I just saw it and I want to include her apology as well as the page and what they wrote on the page. Like on the Dollskill page, they made in one of them carousels with just a lot of stuff, so I do feel like that's okay to address right now. But as I said, more detail into this in a new video sometime in the future. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see how things go, and then if I have enough information, this is gonna happen.
Hi, I'm Shoddy Lynn. I'm the founder of Dolls Kill. I started Dolls Kill to create a place where the misfits, the underserved, the crazy ones, the ones that don't dress like everybody else and look like everybody else and act like everybody else could come together and celebrate diversity. This is the first time I'm publicly associating myself with the brand. I always felt that you, the Dolls Kill community, is so much louder and more powerful than me as one person. I am here today to apologize for the damage and the pain that my actions caused you, the Dolls Kill community. I did something that hurt people. I was not trying to do that. I want to talk to you about that today. I received a photo on Saturday, which I posted on my personal Instagram page, which showed a slew of riot cops in front of the Dolls Kill store in Los Angeles. I want to be clear, I did not call the riot cops. This image was powerful, and to me, it represented a revolutionary moment in time. I've always been strongly connected to anarchist beliefs and ideals, and I strongly believe in direct action, which is civil disobedience. Meaning, do whatever the fuck you want that makes you feel like you're making a change, making a difference, being heard. That was the message I was trying to send. The photo did not convey the support and solidarity I was trying to express. Knowing what I know now, it was insensitive. It totally missed the mark. It was tone deaf. It was wrong. And for that, I'm truly sorry. It was never my intention to cause any pain, disrespect, or lack of support for the movement. I want to be clear. I do not condone racism, police brutality, bigotry. I do not condone hate. I support the Black Lives Matter movement. I support everybody out there protesting, rioting, doing whatever the fuck you want to make yourself heard and to feel like you're a part of this movement. Do it. That's your right. We have made mistakes in the past. Nobody's perfect. But we're going to talk about them. We're going to be much more transparent. You have my word that if we ever fuck up in the future, we'll own up to it. I recognize that Dolls Kill needs to be part of the solution. We will do better. We will no longer be silent. I started Dolls Kill to bring together people of all shapes, colors, size, opinions, identities, whatever. There is not a more important time for us to do that than right now. In this moment, our focus should be on the Black community. And in doing everything we can to not only show our support, but to be part of the solution. I commit to you that we will fight for what's right and will take action to create long-lasting changes.
Okay,
I want to quickly address some of the comments I'm seeing here on the statement. The first issue I want to talk about is the Goth is White t-shirt, which we sold by the European brand WIA. This shirt said on the front, Goth is White. According to the brand, their intent was to say that goths can wear any color and not just black. That's not how it was interpreted by the Dolls Kill community, and we removed the product. After that experience, we put more controls in place to look at everything we sell with a critical eye. The other issue I'd like to talk about is a Native American headdress, which we sold in 2014. This was a part of a much larger Halloween assortment. It was culturally insensitive and inappropriate to sell. At the time, which is now more than 6 years ago, a customer service rep answered some complaints, and one of them was answered pretty immaturely, and it was pretty embarrassing. Looking at that now, we've grown so much. We probably had a handful of customer service reps back then, and we made a mistake. We're sorry, we're learning, we're listening, and we're ready to be more transparent with you guys. Okay.
So part 2 is about this Instagram influencer who was Miss Universe in the past. She's posted a lot of very, very ignorant statements, which I've never heard someone say stuff like that before. So I was shocked to see it. I'm gonna leave her Instagram profile on the screen because I do think it's important to call out people who are malicious. I think being ignorant is not necessarily bad as long as you are trying to educate yourself. And there are people, like where I'm from, no one teaches you human rights for minorities and stuff because we don't really have people of color. We have a few, but it's a very, very small percentage. So everything that I know about this kind of stuff and everything that I know in general about social justice, I had to teach myself, which is a hard and long process, and I'm still learning. So I would not judge someone for having some views that are maybe a little ignorant, but when you are pretending to know everything and you say stuff that is so condescending and yet so racist at the same time, and you are not willing to listen to people who are calling you out, and I think that's when it becomes a problem. So I'm gonna be reading some of the stuff that she's been saying. I don't live in America, it has nothing to do with me, but to me it seems like the white swan. Because if you're angry, you respond in rage and anguish. That means it has power over you, they have power over you. I don't mean the riot, I mean everyone else who has nothing to do with it, but so busy buddy. Most people mindlessly follow what the masses do, creating unnecessary anguish. Monkey see, monkey do. Oh my god. The fact that she's saying, you know, when the racial stereotype about black people looking like monkeys, and she's using metaphors about monkeys in a context when talking about black people, this is like peak ignorance to me, because there have been so many scandals online in correlation with black people being called monkey by like H&M and like other stuff like that, and she's still using this word without thinking of how to phrase her stuff, and it's a story. I understand when in a video you might say stuff that you don't mean. I've done this before. I've said stuff in a way that maybe wasn't transmitting the message that I wanted it to, so I would like end up writing a caption explaining what I meant, because when you speak in the moment, if you are unscripted like I am, it's a little bit harder, especially for someone whose first language is not English. I have had times when my message didn't come across the way I intended it to, so I will correct it. But when you are writing an Instagram story, you have plenty of time to go over it and to check what you're writing. It's not like a spur of the moment thing as the videos are. So I don't understand why you would say the monkey thing. So someone actually DM'd her in regards to the message with white people having power over black people. They do, that's why people have to fight to be heard. How else to respond to injustice if not with rage and anguish, looking at how bad everything is going right now? And she answered, fighting never solves anything. Well, yeah, but all the countries fighting for independence, that's how they got the independence. All the women, LGBT people, whatever, fighting for their rights, it has to at some point get pretty violent in order for people to hear it. So I don't get how you can say fighting never solves anything when in history there has been so many precedents of fighting solving issues. I don't condone fighting, but I do think in extreme cases like this it needs to be done. Like if the other countries didn't fight against Nazi Germany, then all of Europe would have been conquered by Nazi Germany. Like, how, make it make sense, you know? How are you saying that? If black people didn't fight, they would still be slaves. Do you think the, like, American white people just, like, one day they were like, oh yeah, we don't need the slaves anymore, let's let them go? Like, no, that's not how it happened. Am I happy? Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy because it's spring. I'm happy because people are having babies. I'm happy for a million reasons. Am I sad? Yes, I'm sad. Because every 45 seconds a child is dying needlessly from hunger, and the amount of inhumanity among humans to each other and to other species in this moment, I'm both happy and sad. As long as you try to stay in the world of polarities, happy, sad, dark, light, positive, negative, good and evil, you cannot experience the richness of the moment which lies just behind the two. I don't understand any of these pseudo woke messages, but yes, children are dying from hunger. Yes, there are problems in the world that may seem bigger than the problem with America, but people are gonna fight for the causes that they can help, first of all. So in America, with the country technically being a democracy, you can fight more than you would in, like, I don't know, China. Because how can you fight if you live in the West for China? How can you fight for the issue with Hong Kong? I've been sharing stuff like that, but there is nowhere you can donate. They are not even allowed technically social media in China, and all of the people use VPNs. You can't send money to help them. The only thing you can do is spread the word of mouth, but it's not like you can fly out from America to China to help them, or to the other, like, I don't know, to the poor countries, for example, like, I don't know, Congo, Somalia, whatever. You cannot fly there and help these people. It's not as easy as helping the problem that is right next to you. So yes, there is hunger in the world, and that needs to be at some point handled, but this needs to be done on a global scale. It's more difficult than the immediate problem that can be solved right now. So I don't understand why you are playing the oppression Olympics, because yes, there are a lot of fucking problems in the world. There are problems even in my country, and I don't understand how my problem is smaller or bigger than that. If you count the number of casualties, yes, there are bigger problems, but it's not like every life isn't valuable. If 5 black men die in America, but then 100 people die in another country, doesn't mean that those 5 people didn't matter as much. So I don't get it. Take fighting back at home, easiest example. Did it solve your problems? I don't understand what that means. Does that just mean that if you're fighting with family and stuff, violence doesn't solve your problem? I think, no, it doesn't, but you can, to some extent, get away from your house. But some people cannot do even that, so they have to stay in that environment until they have the financial possibility to leave. But if you're a black person born in America, you shouldn't have to leave the country that you're born in just to experience equality. To the black people, relax, take it as a challenge, makes you stronger. You chose to be born as a colored person in America for a reason, to learn a certain lesson. Accept it as it is. Till now, hunger and poverty still exist. It is what it is. It's inevitable. Best you can do is remain calm, protect your heart. Don't allow it to crumble. That's your responsibility. Of course, this is to the ones who understand this level and state of mind. Not for everyone. Everyone grows at a different rate. How do you choose to be born black exactly? Is it the same as how people are saying you can choose to be born gay? Because I don't really understand. She was explaining later on that it's something about like reincarnation and your soul is choosing this. Like, that's bullshit. And I do believe in reincarnation, but you wouldn't want to choose a country that discriminates you and hates you. That's absolutely ridiculous. They are born there. They don't choose to be born. Their parents choose to give birth to them. In some cases, not even that. But like, just because you are born that way in that country doesn't mean that you have to see something like that as a challenge. Because for humanity to make progress, you have to fight for that progress. Even if it's non-violently, it still is kind of a fight. If you talk about it, if you practice activism, I don't really understand what she's on about. It is what it is. Keep in mind that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Yeah, because if I was black, I would just like manifest racism into the world. Curiosity is good. Don't hesitate to message me if you want to clear confusion. I'm prepared for all kinds of responses. I would like to see her DMs. Like after this, I would really like to see what kind of messages she got, because that would be so funny to see her just get her whole argument get dismantled. Unhealed people always want to heal the world, but actually they are the ones who need healing the most. They need the most love, the most attention. I know this because I was once like this. So black people are unhealed from the oppression that they receive. What's the connection? And people have been reposting this and sending her hate. And what does she do? She reposts it back and complains and tries to play the victim. So someone has reposted it saying, because these deaths are just a challenge to overcome with silence, they chose to be born as a colored person, accept it as it is. You've shown that they have no power. You've shown that they have power over you by rioting. So this person is saying to her, dear ex Miss Universe, as much as it breaks my heart that poverty still exists, that children babies are dying, this is not something you compare. One is not greater than the other. It is all lives that have been taken away. Just because you're not born in America, it does not mean you cannot voice out and create awareness, help, or protest. This is injustice that's as grave as all the other issues the world is facing. Just because there are other issues, it does not mean we have to stay silent. It is, in fact, inevitable. It can be stopped. People are fighting for it to stop. George Floyd's death is only the tip of the iceberg. There have been many deaths, and this has hit the very top of people's patience. How long more do you expect them to stay silent? And she said, excuse me, I have always had to put Lane in the forms where we take our race, and in some forms that we feel Lane doesn't exist. In case you don't know, I was insulted all my life for being a white girl in a local Malaysian school. The headmistress herself told me to, I don't know how to read that. Also, I've always wondered all my life why I'm born here in Malaysia with a Chinese mother and a Brazilian father and raised by an Indian family. So I speak from first-hand experience, not from what I read online. Wait, so you're saying you're Chinese, your mother's Chinese, your dad is Brazilian, but you're white? What? How are you white? I don't quite get this post, Samantha, but what do you mean as chose to be born as color? Like our souls chose this life, this country, this race, this human form, specifically for a reason. I always wonder why I'm born in Malaysia as a white girl, with Chinese mom and Indian grandparents and Brazilian dad. But I chose this all for a reason as a soul. You are not white, girl. If your parents are Brazilian and Chinese, how can you be white? I'm just so confused. Someone else reposted this shit that she's been saying, imagine being this stupid, someone come collect her at once. And she said, yes, I'm stupid. Well, good thing you're admitting that. Are you fucking stupid? How can you be so exposed to the world and different cultures and still be this uneducated? I have power over you because I managed to tick you off. Here I'm laughing at my phone screen. Get what I mean now? It's okay, don't need to. Just let that sink in. Good thing that you think it's funny and laughable that people are dying in America and everywhere else in the world for a fact. Like, why is that funny? Why are you laughing? Hi, I just want to say that you could have used your very big platform to generate conversation, working towards a solution. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I hope you understand the multiple facets of racism, which has provided you the privilege to view racist inequality this way. It really is not your place to speak over black people. You might be an Asian brown woman in Malaysia, but you do not get to speak over a race whose history has been subject to racial oppression and discrimination from the dawn of time. I hope you do realize how much you're overstepping on this issue and take down your posts. Please generate proactive conversations on racial inequality. And she answered, you mean please generate anger and hate like you did so I can be like you. You mean please say what you want to hear. Sorry that I'm not following what you're doing. Oh, God. If you see it as anger and hate, then so be it. People are entitled to their emotions on racism, but I am angry because racial inequality should make you angry. We should want better for everyone. If you didn't want to directly talk about Black Lives Matter or certain races. There are positive messages to spread on racial equality. Please read up on privilege, colorism, and systematic racism. Please read up on the tucked away stories and voices of people affected by racism. At least then, if your stance hasn't changed, maybe it can be improved upon. So, for me, the biggest problem is, you say there are bigger problems in the world, you say there are kids who are dying. Have you linked any petition of kids in Syria or other countries like that where they are dying? Have you tried to help any other causes if you think this one is not as important? I think at this point trying to help any kind of oppression in the world or any kind of injustice is good, but you haven't really done that. You've only said that as a rebuttal of why do you not care about this, instead of trying to kind of like direct the conversation to other issues that you thought were important, because there are already a lot of influencers talking about Black Lives Matter. So I could understand to some extent you want to talk about something else that you feel is just as important, but you didn't do that. You only just like briefly mentioned it and then brushed it under the rug, and you were like, oh yeah, there are other problems in the world, but I'm not gonna mention them and how you can help that. I'm sorry, but what if someone told you just accept that teacher speaking to you like that? How can you, as a minority here, tell minorities in the US to just accept it? No one should be accepting blatant racism towards anyone. You can recognize that you've been insulted based on your race, but the blacks in the US are being murdered for just being black. No one chooses to be born a certain race. That's not a choice. That's put in your hands. I never take the form saying that I want to be born a Chindian. Any being born a certain race doesn't excuse racism in any form. In this case, Black Americans are systematically oppressed. We have no right to tell them just accept it. It is what it is. How we respond says everything about us. No, it isn't what it is, because if it was what it was, then women nowadays would have no rights to vote. LGBT people would still be oppressed in the West, even though they are to some extent, but it would be illegal to be LGBT. Black people would still be slaves. What do you mean it is what it is? The world needs to change. We need to improve. I don't understand why Malaysians are so super bothered by it. We all okay only until now. We're doing just fine. Stop watching Netflix, please. What? It's kind of surreal how your message was more on how rioting and dealing with problems with anger isn't the way, and everyone has now basically gone into a semi-bashing spree, sending you love. Insane, right? See, the root of the problem never was racism. It was just a way to express their inner unhealed part. A chance for them to let out whatever it is that was never about racism to begin with. Everything comes from a hurt inner child. So you are saying to me that the black families who have raised the children have raised them to be hurt and they need to be healed because they've been abused in their household, and now they are manifesting that anger that they've bottled up inside from their abusive household. Is that what you're saying? Because it makes no fucking sense. I don't ever do this, but since I'm attention seeking, I might as well, and unhealed apparently for seeking social justice against structural racism. Not okay. And I can't even begin to describe the layers of wrongness of equating being bullied for whiteness in Malaysia to structural racism in America. For someone who preaches self-awareness, there is none here for how tone deaf you are. She just like reshares the stuff and doesn't even respond to it or try to have a constructive debate between two people. And she's saying, come on, let's jump on the trending bandwagon. No one is doing this for clout. Like, no one fucking knows who you are. The very same people who fight for injustice respond in such ways, such nasty comments. What a shame, I see the true colors now. Says everything about a person, how they respond to such situations. What a great lesson. Well, good you fucking learned the lesson. This is the first one that you've ever learned. I don't understand these childhood friends of mine following the mass instead of calling me up and hearing it from me. Shows everything about them. Thank you, Universe, for showing me what they actually are. This is a great lesson for me. I see it all now. And it's not their fault, they don't know any better. Yeah, so they're stupid and you're the only one who's so smart and woke and self-aware. And then, like, she just posted a selfie and tried to ignore the issue. And someone wrote to her, imagine telling black people to just relax as if it isn't something they've been dealing with for years. You should have just sat there and ate your food. And she said, sure, I'll eat my food. No one chose to be born a certain color. Black people have been protesting for years, and yet they still get racially profiled and killed because white privilege allows it. Perhaps don't comment on things you don't have any clue of. And you do have an idea of what it's like. Doesn't matter. Because you don't have to know what it's like. I don't know what it's like. I've been discriminated, but not for the color of my skin. So obviously I don't know what it's like. But I do listen to people who tell me, this happened to me. I was discriminated like this. And I try to share their message and spread it around. It's not my own experience, but I do talk to people, and that's what you should be doing as well. Why do you delete comments? Aren't you going to relax and take this as a challenge? I thought that was funny. I don't get why you say you're white. Chinese mom, Indian grandparents, and that's Brazilian, so which part makes you white? That's the saying that I was saying, like, I don't get that. But yeah. Damn, you ruined a career in a day. True. Sis be deleting comments but forgot to delete yourself. What do you think we live in The Sims? No, we can choose race. Don't choose Malaysia as your country, please. When Ariana said just keep breathing, she didn't mean you. You all need to stop roasting her. My thumb hurts from liking all the comments. I was doing that before. When I screenshotted it, I didn't like them, but after that, like, I was liking them. Unfortunately for my eyes, I did see that she posted an apology which was full of shit, and she disabled the comments in that apology because she's not willing to accept that maybe some people don't want to accept the apology. So I'm gonna read it out to you and you can make your own judgment, but I do feel like it was very stupid. I do hear you, I'm sorry, I know you're hurting, I know it's unfair. I'm not in your shoes to understand this fully. Furthermore, you asked me to explain what I meant by black people chose to be black. Is that throughout my journey I have learned that we are more than just this temporary physical body like an avatar, merely a tiny speck of dust in this vast infinite universe. We tend to overlook that from time to time. In our process towards evolution as a human being on earth, we chose our body, our family, our place of birth, our name, and our lessons from the path we take tailor-made for us. I understand a lot of people have shared that I could have phrased my content differently, and I accept that I am responsible for my words. I will make sure that I articulate my speech in a proper manner. To clear the air, yes, I did poorly articulate myself when writing black people chose to be black, and to the black people relax, take it as a challenge, it makes you stronger. If I had been more attentive in how I wrote it, the message would have been understood as a heartfelt message to all victims of racism, be it any color. Yes, my mother is Chinese, Malaysian, father is Brazilian, and my foster parents who have raised me up are Indian, Malaysian. What do you think about this apology? Because I am at a loss for words. It doesn't really speak anything to me. I don't know. If you have any examples of people that deserve to be called out in times like this, please send them my way, because I'm gonna be maybe making a part 2 if I have enough examples. So just comment down below, talk to me on Instagram, any of this is fine. I'm gonna be sharing links of how you can help Black Lives Matter in my description box below. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be making another video about Black Lives Matter and about how MLM companies have been taking advantage of this political climate, let's call it, to promote their business, because I do think they deserve to be called out. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions, please let me know in the comment box down below. Thank you so much for watching.